season here in Oklahoma, which means thousands of hunters are spending a lot of time in the woods looking for deer, including a Tulsa grandmother.
Only on 6, Tess Monty introduces us to the gun-toting grandma who just recently discovered a new passion for hunting.
Welcome to the Ouachita Mountains.
Susan Anderson is a 66-year-old grandma.
I am an old lady.
Who just recently,
Very new at it.
discovered a new love for hunting.
I love just being in the woods and in God's beautiful creation.
Susan's been an outdoor girl and around weapons for as long as she can remember.
When I was a kid, we shot 22s and standard bow and arrow.
But she'd never actually hunted.
She's a grandma. She bakes cookies. She gardens herbs. She plays bridge at the senior center.
So about 2 years ago, her son Samuel Honnold encouraged Susan to give something new a try.
She can draw and shoot, keep them on a target.
She's now harvested deer, squirrels, and rabbits to eat. But most recently, Susan and her son went bear hunting in southeastern Oklahoma.
Going on a bear hunt.
Susan, dressed in her camo, armed with a muzzleloader, hiked up the trails as Samuel documented the trip. They didn't get a bear, but for her, it's about much more than taking an animal.
The success comes from doing the work, from looking for signs, from climbing the mountain.
It's also taught Susan about self-reliance and survival.
I think I've become a lot more confident.
But more than anything, it's building new memories she and her son
I'm here, and Mom is here.
will treasure forever. On the scene, on the story, Tess Monty, News on 6.
Alrighty, well, we made it to our campsite, but we're going to wait until dark to set up because we want to get the last few minutes of hunting time ready. But first I need to load my pistol. Now, this is my pistol. It's a .45. It's a replica of the ones that they actually used in the 1850s in Little House on the Prairie. Had the same kind of thing, mechanism going. So this is called a muzzleloader. This is the muzzle, and all the goodie goes in here. Here's my ramrod. I'm going to use that in a minute. First thing that goes in is the powder. About 32 grains. Now, always measure your powder, because if you get too much or too little, it can be a real problem. So I'm going to measure it first. I'm going to hold my finger down here and let the powder in. And I close it up. There it is. Okay. This goes right in the muzzle. It's a muzzle loader or a musket. Okay, now goes in the ball. Well, first we put in the patch. Now, the patches have to be lubricated. This one is pre-lubricated, and that's a good thing. Grandpa used to just cut a piece off of the end of his shirt and lick it to lubricate it. So here goes the ball. I'm going to use my starter. This is kind of hard for me because I'm an old lady. I'm going to pound it in here. Oops, I dropped the ball. Let's get another one. Okay. Okay, it goes in, and I use the long side. Then I use the ramrod, and it's got to go all the way down until I feel the powder compress. See, that's not quite far enough yet. There we go. Okay, that's step 2. Step 3 is the cap. It's the part that goes boom. And it goes right here on this little spot. This little copper thing goes right on there. It's got a little bit of gunpowder in it that makes the fire that sets off the powder inside. I'm going to half cock it real gently so that it doesn't go boom when I'm not ready. But now it's ready to hunt with. I can stick it in my belt, and then if I've got my muzzle, my rifle's empty. The rifle's a little more modern looking, but it works the same way. It's got its ramrod over here. Okay, now, if my rifle's empty and the bear's coming up on me, I got a big problem. I need to get this thing out and get it cocked. Take my sight. Got him.
Are you going to now load it for bear?
Oh, that's a good, yeah. Now we need to load it for bear. This takes a little different kind of thing. This is called a mini ball, and it's not called mini because it's little. It's called mini because it was invented by Mr. Mini. And it was invented in about 1840s. It's probably the reason that there were so many casualties in the Civil War, is because it is so much more powerful than the little ball is.
Now, what's that contraption you got there?
This thing, that's a whiz wheel. It's a fast loader. See, I've got 3 balls in here with the patch already on them. Here's my gunpowder, and here's my caps right there. So let's get this loaded here. Here we go. I don't need the patch with the mini ball. You can see it's lubricated, but it keeps it from getting all over everything. Okay. Get my starter on here. Ramrod, make sure it goes all the way down. This one isn't going to go quite as far because the mini ball's bigger, taller. But there we can feel it's compressing the powder. And then my cap, and we're ready to go for bear. So one of the things that I keep in my trailer, and the reason we bring the trailer, is because of the 100 motorcycle. Now, when I was newly married, I got a 100 motorcycle that I loved and rode to class and everything when I was 20. Then I got pregnant and my husband sold it. I was not happy about that. But in the past year, that's been one of my goals. So is to learn to ride again, and I got my license. So I'm a licensed Oklahoma motorcycle rider. And one of the things that hunters say is, you got to hunt harder than the other guy. You got to get up earlier and stay in the woods longer and all that kind of stuff. Well, the bears, they may nose around the campsite at night when you're sleeping, but then they go up way up in the woods where you can't find them. Well, that hunt harder longer is the last thing an old lady needs to hear. But our advantage has been using this motorcycle to get way up the mountain where the bears are. And it's been a great thing. Also, trash has to go in the vehicle because it's a bear attractant as well. It's a misty morning in the forest, and we didn't find any animals to shoot at, so we need to unload the guns. Unfortunately, with the muzzleloader, it only comes out loud. You can't just unload it. This one was specially cut down for me because I've never made it to 5 feet. I got close. I'm 4'11", but normal guns are pretty much too long for me. So this one was specially cut down so I can use it in muzzleloader season. And the safest place to unload is going to be into the hillside, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take off the safety. And let her rip. And there it goes. Now we can clean it and get it ready for next hunting season.